So the first part of this project is all about capturing footage. This can mean a lot of different things, but for me, I'm going to reuse a little bit of footage from my Axoon Cine i2 video that I posted last week because it really helped me when it came to capturing a different angle, so I'm going to reuse some of that. But for you, remember that this part is completely subjective. It's all up to your perspective and how you want to create content for your platforms. But just think about that. This first part is capturing footage that you're going to use. Now the next part of this is getting that footage from your camera into your computer. Now there's a lot of ways to do this, whether you're using Mac or PC or Premiere versus Final Cut or whatever realistically. I think most people understand that kind of stuff, and if you have a question, you can definitely leave it below in the comments, but we'll kind of skip over that part and we'll start directly into Premiere now. This is the part where it becomes more of like the creation process as far as editing goes. Now the first thing that you want to do is go about opening your new project if you don't have one already saved for TikToks or Reels. And realistically, it's going to use whatever footage you captured. So if you shot 4K, it's going to give you that ratio. If you shot HD, it's going to be 1920 by 1080. Realistically, for vertical format, you just want to reverse some of those numbers in the case of 1920 by 1080. So open your new project and then switch your ratio. It'll go 1080 by 1920, and it'll show you the little indicator that says vertical next to it. That's going to give you your vertical frame when you go into editing. That's what you want. Now for this example, I want to give you a little bit of how I went about making the piece of content that I've showed you so far. Well, realistically, what I've done is layered 2 video clips of the exact same thing, deleted the audio because it didn't have any audio, and then essentially taken the bottom one and extended it to completely fill the frame. So it's realistically the exact same piece of content behind the first one, and then what I've done is brought it so it actually fills the whole frame, not touching the first one yet, but only touching the second one. Then from there, what I'm going to do is add a Gaussian blur, and you can just search that in the effects tab basically. All that does is gives you a little number in the side to slide it left or right, basically adding less or more blur until you get to a point where you like it. For me, I like blurring out the background pretty good because it really makes your front video clip pop. From there, all you're going to do is just adjust that front clip to the point where you have a little bit of a frame maybe, but not completely. This is really good technique in my opinion when you have those clips that were shot horizontally and are definitely not going to fill up the entire frame when you're talking 9:16, or in this case where I have a vertical Axoon video. But I still want to show my settings, so I don't want to completely zoom it all the way into 9:16. So essentially the point of this is to give you something in the background that's going to fill the whole frame and really push and make that front video clip pop. There's plenty of ways to do this. If you wanted to just layer one video clip and then just extend it out, you could do that too. But for me, this is what I did for your example. Now the last piece that I like to throw in at the end of these clips when I'm trying to show you process is the final result. So I'll take my Photoshop or my Lightroom, whatever I finished in, export that, and then basically take that photo and put it at the end of the clip for maybe 3, 4, 5 seconds, something like that. Simply once I've added it, I do the transform tool in the effects panel again, simply just doing a quick zoom. So I will fill the entire screen at first and zoom into maybe like if this is a portrait, something maybe like pretty tight, pretty cropped in. But realistically, I just want to show you the process and the final result because I think it adds more impact when you actually show someone the process and then what it's going to look like at the end versus just like, here's the process. That's just me though. I don't know if anybody else likes that. But again, this is the subjectivity and perspective when it comes to creating your own content. So think about that. Now, when you've completed this whole process, you've enjoyed what you've done, you think it's a great video, you've watched it, you've confirmed everything, everything lines up, now's the time to export. So to do this, I do export, export media, which then pops up a box with a couple of options that you have to pick. The first two are up to you, talking about how you want to organize your files. So it picks where you want it to be saved and then also what do you want it to be called. For me, I use a file called TikTok and then I name it usually whatever the date of the day was because for me that's how I've done it for the last 2 years when it comes to vertical video. So it's just what I've done. But when it comes to organization, do whatever makes sense to you. However, afterwards, the next two things are basically choosing your export file quality, I guess you would say. What I usually do for the first one is match source because whatever I wanted to put in is what I want it to come out as. And then the second one is like HEVC 2.64 or H2.64 and HEVC 2.65, something like that. those are the two that I choose. I've seen a lot of people talk about these are the best ones to use. I'm not an expert when it comes to Premiere and exporting, but realistically, if you want more information or you have more information, definitely put it in the comments below, because I'm sure either like we can do some research together or somebody has already done the research into which ones you should do. So definitely let me know as far as that goes. But those are the two that I use, match source and then either 2.64 or 2.65, whatever it's called. That's what I do. And then from there, it's all about how you're going to export it. Now, if you're going from like a Mac device to an iPhone, you can use AirDrop. However, I edit on a PC, so therefore I don't have that option. So what I personally like doing is using this little setup right here. I usually take an SD card, put it into my SD reader here, put this into the computer, download the file to the SD, and then basically use an adapter, which is an SD to Lightning, to then put it to my phone, basically using the Files app through iPhone. Super simple. I like it that way because the faster your card is, if you have a UHS 2 SD card, super lightning quick. I really like that. You don't lose any quality as far as like transferring files or anything like that. That's only one way to do it. If you wanted to use like Dropbox or Google or any of those file services, you could definitely do it that way too. This is just how I do it. From there though, that is the end of the process. You're basically done. You have it on your phone, you're ready to upload to whatever service, whatever platform you want to upload to. Completely up to you. But that's just how I go about doing this process of getting it from the camera itself to basically the platform. So if this has helped you out, hopefully you'll let me know that by going down below and clicking the little thumbs up button. It lets me know that you've basically got some value out of this, that I've helped you out in some way, whether you like the whole process or even just a piece of it. Realistically, it just lets me know that. And beyond that, if you have any comments or questions or concerns or anything else, let me know in the comments section down below, because then I can answer them. We can talk as a community. Maybe there's somebody that knows a lot more about this than I do, and I guarantee there is. So hopefully if you're watching this too, you'll let us all know down below. And hopefully while you're down there leaving your comment or your question, you'll also check out my links for Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, and you'll hit me up there as well, because I would love to talk to you guys, whether it's here on YouTube or anywhere else. And beyond all of that, I'm going to hit you with my typical peace out, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for checking this one out.